In this video, we're going to talk about how to run for political office. It is easy to do. Thousands of people do it every year. But if you want to run and you want to win, stick with me to the end of this video because what I'm going to share with you is not in a book and it's not on Google. We're going to talk about a number of things, why you need to want it, how to keep yourself motivated, how to study your jurisdiction, the rudiments and fundamentals of doing it the right way the first time. But among the most important is the very first thing I mentioned. You got to want it. You got to burn for it. You got to want it almost as much as anything you've ever wanted. You got to taste that victory. You got to imagine yourself on the stage giving a victory speech after it's all over. And that why? Because running a political campaign is going to disrupt your entire life. It's going to create chaos in your personal life and your professional life. It is time consuming. It isn't always easy. You're going to have to press flesh when you don't feel like pressing flesh. You're going to have to write notes to people when you don't feel like writing notes. You will not be able to spend as much time with your family. All of that is fine. Everybody who runs goes through that, but don't go into it with rose-colored glasses on. It isn't easy to do. So when you are deciding whether you want to run or not, if you intend to win, you got to want to win. Otherwise, you won't. Now, how do you motivate yourself? How do you motivate yourself to pop out of bed at 4 o'clock every morning and keep going until 10 or 11 o'clock at night, day after day after day, 7 days a week, 30 days straight? How do you maintain that kind of motivation, especially when you're tired or worn out or you don't feel like it? Well, here's how to give yourself that passion. It's what problem are you passionate about fixing? What wrong are you passionate about righting? What injustice are you just dying to correct? What is it that you want to do that will improve the quality of life for people in your jurisdiction? Who is it that you want to help that really needs a hand up? Who is it that you're trying to defeat that you consider a menace in public life? All of those are things that will motivate you, but I will tell you this, those things will keep you motivated because they're for someone else. They're not for you. If you're in it just to see your name in the paper or just to say you love the attention, you know what? That's fleeting. It's never going to stick. Because when the day comes, you kind of got to crawl through broken glass to get something. At that point, seeing your name in the paper isn't worth the sacrifice. But doing good for the people in your jurisdiction is something that will sustain your motivation. So as you're examining whether to run or not, ask yourself why you really want it. If it's for other people, you'll maintain your motivation. If it's just for you and the attention you get, it won't. Third consideration when you're running for office. I mentioned the problems that you want to solve. It's very helpful if you're running for an office that gives you the power to fix that problem. So if you're really concerned about America's foreign policy and you're concerned about America's economic position in this world, if you're concerned about trade agreements and national green energy programs and you're running for the city council, it's not going to make much sense to voters because you're running for an office where you don't have any power to do the things that you're talking about. So ideally, in a perfect world, make sure you are running for an office that gives you the power to do what it is that you want to do. Sometimes that's obvious to people. Quite often it isn't. Fourth item I'm going to mention here, and this is a trait of all candidates who win elections, is they're experts on their jurisdiction. And why? It's because your jurisdiction, the voters who live in it, is your audience. And you got to win 50% plus 1% of that audience. And if you don't know anything about your audience, your message isn't going to make so much sense. Now, what is it that you want to know about that audience? What's their partisan affiliation? What is their voting history. How old are they? What's the age bracket in your jurisdiction? How many have graduated college? How many just graduated high school? How many are in blue-collar jobs versus white-collar jobs? How much is the home? What's the median value of a home in your district? What is the median income? And if you study that information and the demographics of your electorate, you're going to be a better candidate. You're going to better understand the jurisdiction you're running in. If you have no idea where to get that information, leave a comment and I'll tell you where to find it. But you must have a pretty good knowledge of your demographics of your jurisdiction. I'm going to touch upon 3 other things here if you really want to run for office and win an election. You're going to need a coherent campaign message. Now, to make that campaign message, that's why you need the data to help construct it. If you're going to have a campaign message, pretty hard to do unless you know the intricacies of the audience you're trying to appeal to. What do voters want to know, first and foremost, is they want to know what you're going to do for them. They're not going to be interested in you if you're not talking about something that will solve a problem that they have or fix a problem that they're having, or if you can't tell them how you're going to elevate their quality of life. So that is the first major component of your campaign message. Now, if voters are interested in what you have to say, then they're going to ask some other things as well. If they like what you're trying to do or want to do, our next question is okay, good. What makes you qualified? Is there anything in your background suggests that you can do this job? They're going to expect you to answer that question. Then they're going to want to know, well, how do I know your values are in sync with mine? Do we care about the same things? Do you care about kids like I do? Do you care about poor people like I do? Do you care about the tax burden like I do? You got to tell them things that ground you and let them know that your moral code is in sync with theirs. Next question they're going to ask you is, how do I know I can trust you? But quite often in campaigns, a great way to answer that question is with the story that explains why you want the job. Something that happened in your own life that made you passionate about fixing a problem that you want to solve once you've been elected. There is an art to developing that story, but here's the bottom line. If you're watching this video, I already know something about you that you may not know about yourself. Somewhere along in your life, you got bitten by a political bug, and that makes you just a little bit abnormal. Now, what makes you abnormal is because you're sitting here trying to learn how to win an election. Most people are never going to run for office. Most people wouldn't even consider running for office. Yet here you are. Now, this is what I know about you. Somewhere on your journey, you saw an injustice. Somewhere on your journey, you became passionate about fixing a problem. Somewhere on your journey, something happened in your own life that made you passionate about doing something for somebody that would make their life better during their time on earth. If you can find the moment in your journey where that happened, that is your story. Oh, and before I go any further, I've just finished a new ebook, The 12 Essential Steps to Prepare for a Political Campaign. Now, I've worked with a lot of people who've won elections, and those who didn't, usually it's because they failed to do 1 or 2 or more of them. So that book is free to you. It's in the link underneath this video. Get your own copy. 2 other things we'll mention here. You will need resources. Here's the deal with the money. You're going to have campaign bills. You're going to have to do some advertising if you live in a large jurisdiction. There are lots of ways to raise money. If you would like to do a deep dive into that, there's a video on my YouTube channel, because how to raise money in a political campaign. We'll do a deep dive in there. You're going to have to advertise. And frankly, there's another video in my YouTube channel that how to advertise in a political campaign. The point of mentioning those is what you've learned in this video is a portion, a piece of what you need to know to run and execute a campaign properly. At some point along the way, you're going to need some help. You're going to need a guiding hand from someone who's done this before and can take you through every step on your journey and make sure that it's done well so that all this works in a logical progression. Each week, I set aside some time to talk to people who are going to run or want to run for public office. The call is free. It's easy to reach me. It's in the link underneath this video. If you'd like to talk to me, I'll give you some help or tell you how to get started or refer you to someone who can do it well.